Today I will explain the execution of one-dimensional array in Java using VS Code. Before going to the execution, we'll see what is an array. In Java, an array is a data structure that can store a fixed size sequence of elements of the same data type. Now here I want to store a sequence of elements and that of same type. Suppose I want to store 10 integer numbers. So without arrays, we used to take 10 different variables of integer category and we used to store. Now here, instead of taking a different variable names, I'm going to take only one variable name, the sequence of memory locations, so that I can store all the same type elements. Suppose I want to go for 10 integer elements. I can just define an array in Java and I can go for 10 memory locations in the continuous fashion. Arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring separate variables for each value. So that's what I was saying. Instead of taking different variables for storing same type of data, we go for a single variable, but multiple locations we are going to allocate in order to store the same type of data. We're not going to store different data types. Only single type of elements can be stored. If you want to store 10 elements of integer, you can store. You want to go for separately 10 elements or 20 elements, it's up to you. The size is not defined. You can go for up to a requirement, but you are going to store only the similar elements. Now the elements of an array are stored in a contiguous memory location. So that means in sequence. Suppose if I say 10, size is 10, then 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, you are going to have the 10 memory locations in continuous fashion. You can store only a fixed set of elements in a Java array. So I need to define the size of an array. Like if at all I'm saying the size is 10, only 10 elements you're going to store, not more than that. If I say 20, size 20, only 20 elements can be stored into that particular array. So that's why it is called fixed set of elements. Now, array in Java is index based. That is, the first element of the array is stored at the 0th index. Second element is stored on the first index, and so on. So here, if I say 10 elements, so the array index is starting from 0 and ending with n-1. That is 10 minus 1, 9. So if you want to access any element from an array, you can go by the index numbers. Now, what are the advantages of arrays in Java? Now, fast random access for efficient data manipulation. Because we have the indexing concept, I can extract any element from an array and I can go for usage of this particular value in different manipulations. Then optimal memory usage with contiguous storage. So as I said before, if you are trying to define the size of an array, it is going to give the contiguous memory locations. It will not give different memory locations. Okay, so there we are going to utilize the memory in the proper way and in sequence. Then simple and user friendly. So here I can define the array according to my wish. That means, let's say I want to go for 15 elements, right? Size is 15. I will go for 5 elements. You can go for 5. Okay, and the syntax has also been very simple to define. And you can access the elements also based on the index numbers. So it's very simple to declare, initialize, and access. Then predictable performance with the fixed size. So already I know the size of the array. Then obviously there is no need of worrying like should I take any extra memory or so and so. Okay, so I can just predict the performance of the values whatever I am going to give, because the size of the particular array is fixed and I know what sort of elements I can fix into that. Coming to the disadvantages, one is fixed size. Arrays have a fixed size and cannot be easily resized. If suppose in between I want to increase the size of the array, I can't. Now, so that is one problem. Inefficient insertion and deletion. See, adding or removing elements in the middle of an array can be slow and require shifting elements. Suppose if at all I want to insert one element into between the array, then I need to see that the element which was in that particular position where I want to insert need to shift one step forward to the next level. So it is somewhat a tedious task to be done. Then limited data types. So arrays can only store elements of the same data type. If suppose I want to store different types of data into one array, so that is not possible. So that is one of the limitation. No built-in support for key value pairs. So I can't store the values like key and value as we see in the dictionary, right? Key and its meaning, key and value. So that fashion we are not able to store into an array, but we can do in Python. Okay, so arrays are index based and do not support key value pairs like dictionaries in Python. So that is one limitation. Now coming to the types of arrays, we have one-dimensional array, we have two-dimensional array, we have jagged array. Now in this lecture we will see one-dimensional array. Now a 1D array implies a one-dimensional array. In Java is a linear array that allows the storage of multiple values of the same data type. So here again it will be the linear fashion. That means one by one. Okay, that is in sequence, and we are going to store multiple values but of the same type. Suppose I want to store 10, 20, 30, 40 like that. All are integers only. So we can store. But I can't store like 10, then something called hello, then something called 2.5. Like this, we cannot store into the array. Now it's a collection of data that store the elements of the same type in a sequentially allocated space in memory. So whenever you define an array, the memory is allocated based on the size, whatever you are going to give in your application, and that will be assigned in the continuous way in the memory. Now coming to the syntax, how to declare an array in Java. Now here this is a declaration of an array. So we write a data type. Suppose it's an integer or float or double, and you need to write the square bracket that is called a subscript and space with the array name and followed by a semicolon. Or you can write like this also, the data type, then space, then the square bracket, and here you need to write the array name. There is no space in between this one. So this is one format of declaring. Or I can write data type, space, array name, and square brackets. So this AR could be anything. There is no hard and fast rule that AR only you need to write. This could be anything. Okay, but the data type you need to fix from the predefined data type list. Then the square brackets you need to put, that is mandatory for declaring a single dimensional array. Now instantiation of an array in Java, that means, so when you go for this declaration, memory is not allocated. Okay, but if you write this particular line with the new operator, then the memory is allocated. Now here you need to write the array reference variable. Now this AR is called as array reference variable name. So you write here equal to, that is assignment operator, new for dynamic memory allocation, and again the same data type you need to write. Suppose if you write integer here, you need to write integer here. If you write float here, you need to write float here. Now the size is nothing but how many elements you want to store into the array, like 2 or 3 or 10 or 100 or what. Okay, example, I want to create an integer array, so you can say int data type. This is the array reference variable name, then square bracket, there is one subscript, assignment operator, new int of 3. So these two lines declaration instantiation has been combined into like this. So I'm creating an integer array with size called 3. If you write here 30, then 30 elements of integer can be stored. If suppose I want to create a float array, you write here float, AR, square bracket, assignment operator, new float of 3 or 10 or whatever is there. So like that, this is the notation how to create an array in Java. And when you write like this only by using new operator, the memory is allocated. If you write like this only, declaration memory is not allocated. Now here a one-dimensional array can be visualized as a single row or its column of array elements that are represented by a variable name and whose elements are accessed by index values. So here you can see, now this is the linear array where you can see the boxes. Okay, now this is one memory location, next memory location, next memory location. Now you can see there is no gap. It's in continuous fashion. So that's why the array is a linear type of memory locations where you can store some values. Now if you write like this is a notation. You can see integer array square bracket equal assignment operator new int of 12. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 memory locations are there. Now the 1 to 12 they have been fixed some value. The value could be anything. But here in the downwards you can see the index number. Now this is most important for us. A of 0 is the index. 0 is nothing but index number. A is what? A variable name. Can you see here? Array name. So if you want to access this value called 1, you need to write A of 0. Then 2, A of 1. Then next A of 2, 3 like that. Suppose your 12 memory locations are there. So n minus 1 index will be there. So A of 11. Okay. So like this we can access. Suppose if at all I'm printing system.print of A of 5. So you can see A of 5 is the value of this one 6. So the output is 6. So if you want to access any element from an array, it's mandated that the index number is playing the main role. Okay. Now what are the applications? Where do we use this one-dimensional array? So we have data structures such as stacks, queues, heaps, graphs, etc. Now there we use one-dimensional arrays. Then identifying the location of any element within the array, or determine the largest and smallest element inside the array. Adding and deleting elements or merging two arrays. Now these are few applications where we can use single dimensional arrays. Now other case we use sorting algorithms like insertion sort, bubble sort, selection sort, merge sort, etc. are implemented using 1D array. Now these are few applications where we use this 1D array. Now I will show the execution part by going through some applications. So I just open the Visual Studio. So you need to have the software of Visual Studio in your system. So just type Visual Studio Code and click. Whichever is not applicable you can close. Now here I need to create one folder in order to save my Java files. So in my earlier videos I have clearly shown how to create the folder and how to store the files into that. Now here I have a main folder Java VS1. Under that I have a VS2 subfolder. Now if you click this, now I have already few applications here. Okay, so I'll just explain these applications so that you can understand it properly. Now here the first application, I can see here you're writing public class initialize array. Now any class in Java starts with the class keyword. Okay, in order to make this global access, I can go for public access modifier so that any class within the package or outside the package can access this class. And this is the class name, initialize array. So the class name is user defined, you can give anything. Then public static void main string arguments. Now these are all keywords I have given explanation in my previous videos. Please go through that videos for understanding these keywords. Now in the main method, I'm creating one integer array. You can see int ARR, that is array name, then the subscript, that is a single subscript. Assignment operator equal to, in the flower braces you can see 1, 5, 10, 15 and 20. So these are 5 elements what I'm assigning to this ARR. Now this way if you're writing, it is called as static initialization. Static initialization. Okay, where I'm trying to pass the values here in the flower braces and I'm assigning to this one. I'm not defining any size. I'm directly defining the values. Still the memory is allocated. Now in order to access these elements, like 5 elements are there, I want to print those 5 elements. I'm taking a loop. for int I equal to 0, that is initialization, then I less than AR dot length. Now, if I want to just find out how many elements are there in this ARR, there is a length property here. Can you see AR dot length? Now this length property says that how many number of elements are available in the array called ARR. So it's not a method. You don't find any square this one parenthesis here. Okay, it's only the property name. So you need to write AR dot length. So here the count is 5. So I less than 5 true. Then here you are going to print ARR of 0 value first. 0 means you get 1 answer. Then again I incrementation I becomes 1. 1 less than 5. ARR of 1 you get 5 as an answer. Then again I becomes 2. Then 2 less than 5. Then this one will print ARR of 2, 10. Then I becomes 3. 3 less than 5. Then it becomes 15. Then I plus plus 4. 4 less than 5 true. Then you are going to get 20. So like this we can access the elements. So here also you can understand the index number is playing the main role. The index number is starting from 0. Okay, ARR is nothing but array name, and you write the index number to access the elements. So just save this file and run the program by using run command here. Your button is there for running. Now here you can see 1, 5, 10, 15 and 20. Okay, just you're printing the values whatever you have been initialized. So this is one application. So let me go through another application. Now this is the other application. Now the class name is access element, then main method. Now inside main method, I'm trying to declare an array called number. The array name is number with a subscript. So this is only a declaration as I was showing in the syntax in the PPT. Then when you are allocating the memory by using new operator, you don't write subscript here. You're not supposed to write. If both are written in the same line, then no issues. But if you are declaring in one line and instantiation in another line, so don't use any subscript here. Called new int. Now this 10 is nothing but the size of an array. So here we are creating what integer array with size called 10. And when you write new, the memory is allocated at runtime. In the previous program, the memory is allocated at compilation time because static initialization was done. But now we are doing at runtime. Now here I want to initialize because 10 elements, right? So number of 0, I'm initializing 11. Number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till 9. So the index starts from 0, ends with n minus 1. So n is 10 here, 10 minus 1, 9. So index number is starting from 0 and 9. Now these values you can give anything. There is no problem. You can give any numbers. Okay, so this is called as assigning a value to a particular array element. Okay. Now here you are printing the value, number of 5. Now you are going to get this as an answer. Number of 5. Okay, so we'll try. Okay, we got an error. Let's check out the basis. So we'll save the file again. So you got here the 66 element. Can you see number of 5 we are printing? 66 element. Okay. Now we'll go for another application. Can I put or create a string array? Now here this class name is string array demo. Then main method. Now your string array. So this is also one of the proper declaration of an array. So where the square brackets is put near to the class type here. Still it is correct. Now what you're trying to store. So here you're trying to store some strings. In double quotes you can see one is new, one is two, one is one dimensional array, and one is in Java. So 4 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 elements you're trying to store. And this println statement will print string array elements are as it is. Now again we are taking the same loop for I equals 0, I less than array dot length, then I plus plus print of array dot I. Now the array name is itself the array here, array of 0, you're going to get new. Array of 1, you're going to get 2. Array of 2, you're going to get one-dimensional array. Array of 3, you're going to get in Java as a term. Because this is 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, and 3 index. So still we are keeping the condition as array.length. Here it replaces 4. Because 4 elements are there, no? I equal to 0, I less than 4. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3 will be satisfied. You're going to get the answer. So we'll save it and run. So here you can see new is one element, 2 is a second index, that is a 0 index, for 1 index, 2 index, and 3 index. So you can extract the elements like this. So I'll show. The anonymous array means without any name, the array without any name. Now here we are taking one class called anonymous array demo. Then I'm taking public static void print array, one static method. And here you can see I'm taking one array. Now this array is acting as a parameter for a method. Okay. Now here what is the task of this method is just whatever the array values are going to get, you print those values. Again, the same for loop you're taking and you're printing the values. But now the question is from where you're going to pass these values. So in the main method, you can see I'm calling this function called print array. And here I'm giving directly new int square brackets, and in the flower base we are giving some values. Now this complete 4 values are going to store into this. But here why it is called anonymous means here we are not giving any array name specifically. Right, here in the parameter we are giving fine, but are we giving any parameter as for array name? Here no. Okay, so that's why it is called as anonymous array, the array without any name. Okay, so when you're passing like this, you need to give, there is no need of equal to assignment operator, directly you can give. So these 4 values will be stored into this, and one by one it is going to print. So save and run. So here you can see 10, 22, 44, and 66. Now like this, I can pass an array as a argument to a particular method. So this is a method calling. Since it's a static, now we can call it directly. There is no need of object. I'm calling this method directly. Okay, and this is a parameter. So completely this will store into this, and here it is going to print. So the complete array I'm trying to pass to a method as a parameter. Then one more program where it's also highlighting how to pass an array to a method. Okay, but here it's not an anonymous array, it's a normal array where it has some name. So we have a pass array as a class. Then we have a method called min, static method, and we are accepting the array values from the main function. Then here you can see what all the values we're going to get. From that, I need to find out the minimum value. Suppose here you can see we are passing 33, 3, 4, and 5. Now these are the 4 values. I'm initializing, there is a static initialization to an array called A. Then I'm calling one function called min of A. Now this min is nothing but here I've defined. What is the parameter type? It's an array, no? So A I'm passing. A is also an array type. Now A is holding these 4 values. 4 values are going to store here. 4 values are going to store here. And from that, I need to take the index number 0. The 0 index number is 33. Okay, and I'm going to put into min. So the min is holding a value called 33. Now I'm taking a loop. I equal to 1, I less than array dot length. Array size is what? 4, no? 4. Now here min is greater than array of I means 1. So they are cross verifying this 33 is greater than 3. If it is true, then whatever you are holding in ARR of 1 need to be the minimum value. So this 3 is going to store into the min value. Now next number I becomes 2, 2 less than 4, true, then 2 greater than ARR of 2, ARR of 2 is 4, false. Again it increments, again it becomes 3, minimum value is nothing but this value, right? This is greater than ARR of I, that is 3. So is it greater than 5 they were asking? No. So finally the min value will become 3 and you are going to print. So now here also the same concept where we are passing an array as a parameter, but this is not an anonymous array. The previous program was anonymous array. Okay. Just run the program. So you can see the 3 is the minimum value among all the 4. Okay, so this way you can pass an array to the method. Now one more program. Can I return the complete array from a method? Okay, earlier was passing the complete array to the method. Can I return the complete array from the method? So here we have a class return array demo. Then we are taking a display function. Now display function, this is most important. Now return type is array type. And array is also what type? Integer type. Okay, that you need to clearly specify. Now here, whenever I call this display function, it is going to return this array. Now this is again the anonymous array. I don't return any name. I'm not writing any name. So directly I'm writing new int of square bracket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values totally we are trying to return. So wherever you call this display function, this 5 values should be returned. Now since here it is also static method, okay, and public static void main, then here I'm calling display method. And when I call display method, these all 5 values will be stored into this array, and I'm printing that by using a loop. I'm trying to print that by AR of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple. When I call display method, it goes for this. It returns that complete array, that complete all array values, and store into this ARR array. And you can see here you are returning integer. Here also you need to create an integer array. Then you take for loop and start printing the values ARR of 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so in this way you can return the value from a method also. Just run the program. Now here you can see 10, 30, 50, 90, and 60. So whatever you're writing, that will be extracted as an answer. So in this way, the one-dimensional arrays can be worked out. Okay. So I hope you understood these applications and the usage of one-dimensional array. If you like this video, please share to your friends and subscribe. Thank you.